No exceptions, no exclusions, no excuses. Misa sang an opening song for our community song, our sing-along, that is very powerful, and it's based on the Unity's first principle, which is there is only one power and one presence, God, omnipotent. That idea that there is only one is not unique to Unity, but it is our foundational piece. There is not good and evil. There is only God. There is not the force of the devil out there trying to capture your soul to get you into eternal torment. We know what eternal torment is. We're living it, right? On a daily basis, when we look on this planet, you can see the pain and the suffering all around us. The difference in the Unity teachings is we understand that God is constantly there and present and good and all knowledge, all wisdom, all power, not withholding anything. And so there is no place, literally, no spot that God is not. And if we could truly wrap our minds around that and live that principle, we would be in a different place. We'd be in heaven on earth. And when those glimpses come through us, when those moments of understanding this radical truth that there is no spot, absolutely no spot within you, no spot within anyone else that isn't 100% divine. Oh, because we can always say, I love this part about myself. Ooh, but I'm really unhappy with this. Or I really love that about that person, but it drives me crazy when they do that. Or I love this spot, but why does it have to rain? Why does there have to be storms? Why do there have to be earthquakes? When we can understand that there is nothing, absolutely nothing in all of creation, in all of the universe that is not God, we can stop the duality of thinking good and bad, right and wrong, higher and lower, heaven and earth, peace and violence. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in our lives, God. So that's the lesson. You all got it? Right? There is no evil out there trying to get you. And what we have to step into is the understanding that if that is to be made manifest, is that is to be known within us and on the earth so that the world can be anew. We can create a new heaven and a new earth right here and right now. We have to do the work. We have to stop excluding people from that presence, from that understanding. And we do this in lots of different ways. We say that that place is just divine. That moment is just really wonderful. That is the holy place. And you can see it. This was built as the house of worship by the German Methodists in 1909. Right? It had subsequently many, many different other spiritual communities inhabit this space until we bought it 6 years ago and made it ours. But each and every one, and the ideas of churches as sanctuaries started years and years ago where they needed to come together to find the holy space. But before that, before organized religion got a hold of that, we used to know that the holy space was in nature, was in the cathedral of the redwoods, was in the cathedral of the pines, was in the ocean, was in the vastness of space and time. And we could understand that that is the wholeness of God. But in our duality thinking, in our limited thinking, when we ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, we saw that there were some places that God was and some places that God was not. And we excluded people. We excluded the unworthy. from those places. You had to have received all the sacraments to come into the sanctuary. You had to have atoned for your sins to come in. And then this radical man walked the earth thousands of years ago, 2,000 to be specific, and said, no, those laws and those ridiculous limitations don't apply. You are whole and complete just as you were made, and that you are worthy just by being here, for you are a magnificent expression of God. You are the children, literally the children of the divine. So when we can step into that teaching and understanding it from a new way of looking, and it's like, you don't have to proclaim your faith in any one person in order to be saved. You are saved because you already are here. You are whole and complete as God made you. Whether you are a trans person, whether you're a gay person, when you're black, white, Latina, asexual, non-sexual, young, old, you are magnificent. You are whole. You are worthy of God, of love, of celebration, and of more than you can ever imagine. But what we do is we exclude people from that as well. We do to us what has been done to us. And we say, oh yeah, that's really good. But those people, those ones who believe that church is bad. That political party is bad. That way of being is bad. So even those of us who have been marginalized and kept from the sanctuary and have been pushed outside of the normal realms and made to take a back seat or seat in the balcony or not allowed in at all to the sacraments because of who we are, do the same thing to others. And we exclude them based on their beliefs. We exclude them based on their faith. And we exclude them based on their politics. And then we perpetuate more of the same by saying we have the answer. But if there's only one power and one presence active and working in the universe, it has to work through us. It has to work in us. When we say no to someone, no to something, no to some organization, no to some group of people, some alliance, we are saying no to God. We are saying no to Spirit. And we're saying that we know better. It's not easy. It is not easy to stand in radical inclusivity. It is not easy to be unapologetically welcoming, unapologetically accepting, unapologetically rejoicing at other people's choices. But you can see it if you turn on the TV, how we other everyone without even giving thought to how it others us. How we keep ourselves separate from all of mankind, from all of God's creation, from all of our possibilities. And the thing is, we cannot escape our own judgment, because there is something in everyone we try to exclude that exists within us. And when we exclude the other, we exclude that part of us that we don't like. And we think, ooh, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. And that's what keeps us from achieving. That's what keeps us from really experiencing divine love. From being able to accept love in every moment, in every situation in our lives. And I have to tell you, it has been my journey. I have taken all the decades, the 6 decades I've been on this planet, to get to this point where I can recognize my own worthiness and still understand that there are parts of me that I need to let go. Parts of me that believe I'm not worthy, that believes those stories that were told to me as a kid, that I internalized and I block my own good. And it is a lifelong process of letting them go. And it is the true work of each and every one of us on the planet. The true work of us is to really understand our worthiness. No matter what our identity, no matter what our nationality, no matter what our race, no matter what our sexual orientation, or whatever label that we have taken on, our learning abilities, our disabilities, our education or lack of it, when we can step into this moment and say, I release all of those things that I took on, and I stand before you whole, just as God made me. That is a radical moment of acceptance and a radical moment of claiming your divine birthright. And then we stop excluding. We stop excluding people. Love is the recognition of oneness in the world of duality. Eckhart Tolle. So we're born into this world and we're taught that's good, that's bad by our well-meaning parents. I watch myself doing it to my kids right now. I watch myself doing it, saying, no, what's wrong with you? Right? And I hear the words come out of my mouth and go, wow, the sins of the father are passed on to the child. And I take it back and I run up and I hug them and I love them and I tell them how magnificent they are. But that process of understanding that we live in this world of duality and we are taught it from before we have words. Before we have conscious thought, we are taught about this duality. But the truth is we are bigger than we appear, that we are more magnificent than we are showing up as. Rumi says it this way, you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop. You are the entire divinity of God in the form of yourself right here and now. So include in your life with intention. Include those people that you have left outside of your circle of love. Include those people who you feel aren't worthy of your time and attention. Include those family members that you have a grievance about that you have been carrying for years. Include them into your circle of affection and attention and watch how your life shifts. You know, many of you know my mother passed away, it'll be 2 years ago in December, on December 28th. Can't believe it's been 2 years. And I was there with her. I had the gift of being with her there when she took her last breath. Priceless. She was there when I took my first, and I was there when she took her last. But in that family relationship, in that moment, in that tension of and grief and pain, I had a difficulty with one of my sisters. And it kept devolving instead of evolving. And I asked that we have a face-to-face conversation about it. And she refused. She said, no, I just want to do this by email. And I said, no, I don't want to do it by email. And we buried my mother and it was all fine. But time goes on and 2 years have come by. And my sister and I have never fully resolved that. And I was thinking about it a couple months ago and I was meditating on it. And I said, so what's stopping you, Ken? What's stopping you from resolving this? And so I picked up the phone and I called and I left a voicemail. And I picked up the phone when she didn't pick up the phone and I left a text. And we started the baby steps it takes to start healing the relationship. Because the truth is, what we were mad at and what caused us the upset 2 years ago isn't important. What's important is my sister is still here. And yet I'm thinking there's something between us, and I'm perpetuating it when I have the ability and the agency to change it. And how many of us do that? How many of us, hold on to that about anything and about little stuff, so much so that you can't even remember why you were acting so small. No exclusions. There's nothing my sister could do that could stop me from loving her. I want to be really clear. That doesn't mean we're doormats. That doesn't mean we excuse behaviors, right? My sister didn't do anything that's egregious, right? We had a difference of opinion. But that doesn't mean that when people do egregious things, that we condone their behavior. What we do is we wake up in that moment and rise above it. Thank you, Michelle Obama, right? We rise above it and say, this is the standard that I'm going to operate on. I'm going to demonstrate how to be in this situation rather than sinking lower and withdrawing myself from life. My purpose statements, purpose statements, I really encourage all of you to develop one. They're different than mission statements, but that's another talk. But here's the thing about purpose statements. The purpose statements are aspirational by design. They call us up higher. Mine is, I joyfully teach, demonstrate, and inspire. And the demonstrate one is really the hardest one right now. Teaching is fun. But demonstrating the high watch is what I need to do in this situation with my sister. It's what I needed to do at Unity, at our national headquarters. So many of you have heard me talk about this, but 2 weeks ago we had our vote. It'll be 2 weeks on Wednesday. And the two Unity organizations have merged, come together as one. Yes, we did it. We got it across. We have a name called Unity, and yet there were two organizations for the last 60 years. Crazy, crazy. But we were able to get it across the line. And in the midst of that, I was navigating, like I've described to you, some really nasty things being said and accusations flung all over the place. And I got to sit in the middle and not react, but respond as a voice of reason. And that demonstration, many people have told me, the demonstration of how to do that helped get the line, the vote across the line. That's always possible. It's always possible for us, but it takes the conscious effort. It takes work, folks, to not react, to not get triggered, to realize that we are getting triggered, and us jumping into the negativity pool isn't going to help everyone. And that is how we shift things. We shift things by not excluding anyone from your kindness, from your love, from your wisdom, and not withdrawing yourself. So the last part is no excuses. Because excuses are what we use to keep us from shining. Excuses are what I use to keep myself from actually having to step up, right? Well, I'm only human. I'm only human, right? But we stand here every Sunday and say, no, we're fully divine. We are made in the image and likeness of God, and we have all the attributes of that divine life. But give me a difficult situation and go, oops, I'm only human. Give me something where I've missed the ball and say, oh, I'm only human. So we say, I'll do that when. I'll do that when. I'll give when I start making this amount. I'll take care of this when this happens. I'll apologize when they do. Oh, that one rang a bell. I will fix this when they say they're sorry. And then we withhold and we get tighter and we are the ones diminished with excuses. Excuses keep us safe, we think. But really what it is is that our excuses keep us small. Our excuses keep us limited. And the truth of who we are, the higher calling, sets us free. So I know you all know people. You all know people who are truly inspirational to you. Tom here's written a book about it, right? Talking about exactly what he's been through and come out the other side, right? Come out the other side through disease and through diagnosis, and come out the other side. All of us sitting here have come through something where we were told we couldn't, told we shouldn't, told it wouldn't be best. And yet, here we are. We are walking miracles of life, of love, and divine energy. And as Marianne Williams had said, your playing small does not serve the world. So letting go of excuses of why we can't show up bigger, why we can't give more, why we can't love more is our true limitation. And we keep co-creating and recreating hell on earth, our own prisons, our own jail, by waiting for that apology, by waiting for that next windfall before we give. There is infinite amount of time. I know that's a really hard one, but there is an infinite amount of time because time is only a construct we've all agreed to, right? If we step off of this planet for a second, a day means nothing. It means nothing other than we've all agreed that, and you watched it right now, we just watched Daylight Saving Time, right? Where we just all agree to shift the time. It's like, it drives some of us crazy. It makes us have to fall back. And at the same moment, there is more than enough time. Time for us to do what we need to do. There is more than enough love. You cannot not give out love. Right? You cannot spend all the love you have. For every bit of love you give, there is more. There is more than enough resources in the universe. Remember when they told us we were going to run out of food on the planet? That if we reached, I think it was even at the time, 5 billion people on the planet, I remember as a child, there's got to be a food crisis. There's not going to be enough food. Well, we're at 8+ billion now, and there's a surplus of food on the planet. The problem is not enough food. The problem is not enough willingness to share the resources equitably. So when we can apply that to a greater perspective, when we can understand that there is more than enough resources in the universe for to meet all of my needs and everyone's needs, we create win-win situations for everyone. And we lift everyone up to their full birthright and possibility of abundance, of love, of agency. They get to be who they are. They get to love who they love. And we get to let everyone else be who they love and who they are. And trust that as we let our light shine, as we love wastefully, unconditionally, extravagantly, that love will change everything. Will let the world change because it needs to on a fundamental core. And so the practice today, the practice right now is for us to step forward and to say, I want to figure out how this is true, that there is only one power and one presence active in the universe and in my life. God, Spirit, that one is manifest when I say there is no one outside of that realm. There is no one who's not worthy of that. There is only love. Excuses are our ego's way of keeping us from our own magnificence, right? So this is the way we do it. No exceptions. We see the divine in everything. No exclusions. We open our heart to everyone. Think of your most hated politician. No exclusions. Open your heart to them. No exclusions. Open your hearts to them. Because you cannot change anyone who can feel your inner contempt. Do you get that? You cannot change anyone who can recognize that you hold them in contempt. The only way is to love them. And no excuses. Step fully into who you were here to be. Step fully into what your divine purpose is, and step fully into the life that you are here to lift the planet into. That's how we change the world. That's how we start to change ourselves. Let's take that to our time of meditation. As our music team gets into place, I'm going to leave you with this quote from Thomas Merton. It's a paraphrase from Thomas Merton. The measure of our enlightenment is how we treat those we think don't deserve our love. We are human. We are limited in some ways because we've bought into this mindset. But when we can awaken, step into the light, we can see that everyone, and everything is worthy of our love.